by Phoebe Cooke and John Rogers. Heroes of England's triumphant 1966 World Cup side joined thousands of fans in Stoke to pay their respects to the side's goalkeeper Gordon Banks. Former teammates and football icons including Charlton and Geoff Hurst assembled at Stoke Minster today to celebrate the life of the keeper legend after his death on February 12 at the age of 81. SWNS, Southwest News Service goalkeepers Jack Butland, Anyon, Kasper, Schmeichel and Hart carry the coffin into the Minster. SWNS, Southwest News Service Gordon's coffin is taken into the Minster. Charlton, a hero of the famed England side, arrived in Stoke for the funeral. Geoff Hurst arrives for the funeral of former England World Cup winning goalkeeper Gordon Banks. Jack Charlton waved as he made his way to the ceremony. A statue of keeper Gordon Banks was draped in England flags as Stoke celebrated his life. Goalkeepers, left to right, Pat Jennings, Ray Clements and David Seaman all paid their respect. Former England goalkeeper Peter Shilton also attended the service with his wife Steph. Former Man City footballer Mike Summerby made his way to the funeral. Retired Stoke City player and manager Dennis Smith arrived at Stoke Minster. Stoke City midfielder Charlie Adam paid his respects to the hero goalie. SWNS, Southwest News Service goalkeepers Jack Butland, Anyon, Kasper Schmeichel and Hart acted as pallbearers. Peter Shilton, England's most capped goalkeeper, also attended the service with his wife Steph Hayward. The former Leicester City and Nottingham Forest goalie was just one of a host of famous faces, past and present, from the game to attend. Mike Summerby, who made 8 appearances for the national side, also made his way to the somber event. Several of Stoke City's current players also paid their respects, including Charlie Adam. Stoke City number 1 Jack Butland acted as pallbearer along with Leicester City's Kasper Schmeichel, Chesterfield's Anyon and ex-England shot-stopper Hart. Geoff Hurst and Kasper Schmeichel talk about England legend Gordon Banks on the day of his funeral. Guard of honour in a moving tribute. His coffin was carried into the Minster by the current number 1 goalkeepers of all 3 clubs he served during his incredible career. Daughter Wendy Banks said the outpouring of love had been a comfort and said, "It makes you feel very humble and proud all at the same time." His funeral is taking place on the 47th anniversary of the club's League Cup final victory over Chelsea, in which he played. The service at Stoke Minster, which is by invitation only, will also be shown on a big screen at the Potters Bet 365 Stadium. Club captain Ryan Shawcross and teammates Joe Allen, Bruno Martins Indy, Charlie Adam, Tom Edwards and ManUtd will form a guard of honour along with members of the 1972 side. Fans had the opportunity to say their own farewells as the 5-car funeral cortege passed along a 10-mile route through the city and stopped at Stoke Stadium for a few minutes and was given a huge applause by the huge crowd. An estimated 2,000 people lined the streets of Stoke-on-Trent to pay their respects ahead of an emotional service to celebrate the life of one of the best goalkeepers of all time. A guard of honour featuring Stoke City players past and present led by captain Ryan Shawcross was formed at the club's ground, where fans watched the service on a big screen. Supporters gathered in the stands chanted, "England's number 1," as the cortege passed through the stadium to loud applause. Former England legends from the 1966 squad were also in attendance, such as hat-trick hero Sir Geoff Hurst, Roger Hunt as well as Jack and Charlton. Members of the British Army also formed their own guard of honour to mark Banks' service in the Royal Corps of Signals before his football career. Tributes were then led by Sir Geoff Hurst and Stoke City chairman Peter Coates during the emotional service ahead of a private burial with close friends and family. The career of England's greatest goalkeeper Gordon Banks, who has died at the age of 81. Banksy, rest in peace. We love you and we miss you. Sir Geoff Hurst delivered a moving eulogy in which he referred to his World Cup winning teammate as a superstar on the field, but off the field he was an ordinary guy with no airs or graces. The member of England's World Cup winning side said he flew through the air like Superman when he made a save. He added, "He was a joker, a funny man, for over 50 years, and every time we met during our careers or years after, he would come up and joke." Banksy, rest in peace. "We love you and we miss you." Hurst started his eulogy by jokingly referencing his penalty that was saved by Banks in the League Cup semi-final between Stoke and West Ham, who were beaten after a replay. Hurst said, "Gordon Banks contributed to the worst moment of my footballing career. We often joke privately and publicly about the save from Pelé in the 1970 World Cup, but the most important save was the one that got them through, in the League Cup. The save against Pelé wasn't as important. We lost the game and we still qualified for the later stages of the World Cup." Seeing archive clips after he passed, "I realized how agile he was and how brave he was, diving at people's feet and smothering the ball." Speaking at the service, Stoke City chairman Peter Coates told the congregation, "Gordon joined Stoke City in 1967 and lived the rest of his life in this area. We regard him as our famous adoptive son. He was fully integrated into the community at all levels. He was at home with us and we were at home with him." Gordon played in one of Stoke City's best ever teams, making 246 appearances, but of course he would have made many more both for Stoke and England apart from an accident and eye injury which affected his career. He added, "He was a wonderful ambassador and in the last 3 months when he was ill, he was always desperate to come to the games. It will be harder to meet a nicer man." Everyone was the same to Gordon. He was a modest, self-effacing man. He was always supportive. He remained close to the players he played with at Stoke, all of whom are here today. They had weekly walks in Trentham Gardens. I'm told they are going to continue to do their weekly walks and call it the Gordon Banks Walk. They are going to miss him. I'm very privileged to have known Gordon so well and really he was a man for all seasons. We are going to miss him, but we will never forget him." Sheffield-born Banks made 510 league appearances for Chesterfield, Leicester and Stoke, but it was on the international stage that he established himself as a star, winning 73 senior caps, most famously in the 4-2 World Cup final victory over West Germany in 1966. However, he will probably be best remembered for his heroics in Mexico 4 years later when he made the breathtaking save which was to define his career when he somehow managed to turn Brazil star Pelé's header over the crossbar. During his career he was named FIFA Goalkeeper of the Year on 6 occasions and won the League Cup twice, with Leicester in 1964 and Stoke in 1972. Banks is survived by his wife Ursula, who he met on national service in Germany in 1955, and their 3 children Julia, Robert and Wendy. Fans clapped as the funeral cortege of former England World Cup winning goalkeeper Gordon Banks arrived at the stadium ahead of his funeral. The sun broke out as Stoke City supporters paid their respects to a footballer legend. Gordon Banks was widely considered to be one of the world's best ever goalkeepers. Floral tributes left at the Gordon Banks Statue Stadium prior to the legendary goalkeeper's funeral in Stoke. Stoke City fans gather ahead of the funeral of Gordon Banks. SWNS, Southwest News Service. Fans remembered Banks with his own commemorative t-shirt. Gordon Banks died on February 12 at the age of 81. Banks was named FIFA Goalkeeper of the Year 6 times and earned 73 caps for England. SWNS, Southwest News Service. Fans wore t-shirts as they gathered for the legend's funeral. Banks was famous for the mesmerizing saves made during his illustrious career. A different kind of save. Leicester City goalkeeper Gordon Banks grabs a dog running onto the field. Late 1965. A tribute to Gordon Banks is displayed above the Bobby Moore statue at Wembley Stadium on February 12, 2019 in London. Former England goalkeeper Peter Shilton reflects on the death of his hero Gordon Banks. We pay for your stories. Do you have a story for the Sun online news team? Email us at tips@the-sun.co.uk or call 0207 782 4368. You can WhatsApp us on 07810 791 502. We pay for videos too. Click here.